What is going on, Panthers Nation? Carolina Dad here, your host of the Two Growls, One Roar podcast. Want to wish everyone a very Merry Christmas as hopefully you tune into this. I'm recording this a little bit earlier in the week. It's going to be a shorter episode. I'll be back, of course, after Christmas, spending some time with the family. We'll have more videos and content. Never, ever stops. But let's go ahead with your condensed preview of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Carolina Panthers. The last time these two teams played, I also did not get to do an official preview because it was during Thanksgiving or leading up to that week. So I never got to do a true preview of that game. But here we are, folks. Back again. 2 weeks to go. Another stellar performance by Bryce Young. Fantastic game by Chuba Hubbard. The defense wanted to do everything they could to let this team down. But we got ourselves a win, and the Panthers doubled their win total from last year, going from 4 this year. It was 2 last year. So double the win total. We'll take it with a chance to get 5 or 6 wins remaining on the season. And folks, there's a lot of people talking about the Panthers winning games. I want you to know, even if the Panthers win out and they have 6 wins on the year, their worst draft position pick is going to be around 10th or 11th. It would likely be a top 10 pick. So do not worry about the Panthers winning games. We need to win games to help establish the culture here in Carolina. Now, speaking of winning games, that's something that the Tampa Bay Bucks did not do this week, as they lost to the Dallas Cowboys. Much closer game than it was against the Panthers, speaking of Cowboys. But the Bucks find themselves needing help. For them to make the playoffs, they got to take care of business. One, they need to win out. It's an important game this week. Panthers can kind of cause some chaos here. If the Carolina Panthers win and the Atlanta Falcons win, Tampa Bay would be eliminated from the playoffs. It is that simple. So a lot riding on this game. The Carolina Grim Reapers, whatever you want to call them, have a chance to knock another team out of the playoffs. And when you're not in the playoffs, that's about all you can do. We saw the videos of how frustrated the Arizona Cardinals players were. Trey McBride was losing his mind, dropping F-bombs, talking about how bad the Panthers were when he came off the field. Well, guess what, buddy? You got to get it done on the field, and y'all did not get it done, and you still did not score a touchdown. So there you have it, folks. Some people may call this the Dave Canales revenge game. I don't know. I think revenge game is overused so much, but you go back and look at the first matchup. Carolina should have won that game. They were a Chuba Hubbard fumble away from securing the win, taking this thing, and of course we saw Chuba Hubbard redeem himself this past week. We also saw the rise of Bucky Irving during that game and Baker Mayfield. But I still like the Panthers and their chance to win this. They are traveling. Again, the Panthers are going to be on the road for the last 2 games of the season. But I think they got a shot in this one. And I know Tampa Bay has one of the top offenses in the NFL. If you look at the categories, top 5 in points, they're actually number 5, number 3 in yards, 2nd and 3rd down conversions, and number 5 in red zone scoring. This is a really good offense. Now I'm going to advise you not to go out and look at the offensive numbers from last year compared to this year, because Dave Canales was the OC then. Tampa Bay's offense is vastly improved, and a lot of that even with injuries happening. Mike Evans now, I think, needs about 90 yards per game to eclipse 1,000 yards, even with the time that he's missed. One of the best players in the NFL. Storyline of this game is going to come down to the run game again, because that's the story every week. The Panthers giving up over 200 yards on the ground. That seems to be the norm now. We're averaging 173. I think it's actually gone up to 175 yards allowed per game. We are in the territory of this being a top 10 worst rushing defense all time in the NFL. So, with that said, it's hard to know. I mean, you look at the performance of Bryce Young this past week, you look at the offensive line play. I think the Panthers have a shot again. I picked the Panthers to lose against the Cardinals. I didn't think they would get over the hump, but then Bryce Young comes out, plays really well. I think if they can continue to lean on Chuba Hubbard, if they can get a stop or 2, they've got a chance to pull this one off. And again, play spoils. Now, I know Tampa Bay has a lot to play for. I know Baker Mayfield is a very good quarterback this year. So I wouldn't expect the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to roll over, but it would be nice. Although when you talk about Atlanta winning the division, I hate that. I hate Atlanta, probably more than I hate Tampa Bay. And Michael Penix running the show there at Atlanta with the potential to take them to the playoffs. Are you kidding me? So we talked about the Carolina Panthers. Nothing's changed if you follow the Panthers on the defensive side of the ball. Number 32 in points allowed, last in the NFL, right under 30 points per game. 31st in yards allowed, 385. 32nd last in the NFL in third down efficiency, conversion rate, and the number 29 red zone defense. I went over the categories for the Tampa Bay offense. We can switch gears, talk about the Carolina offense, who slowly climbing their way up, putting some points up, 36 points. Overtime helps, but number 26 in the NFL, almost 19 points per game. Tampa Bay has the number 22 defense, 295 yards per game, 30th in the NFL. Small improvements. And Tampa Bay gives up 354 yards. Yards per play, Panthers average 5. The Tampa Bay defense gives up 5.6. Third down efficiency, Panthers 35%, 28th in the NFL. Red zone scoring is going up. It helps when you have short fields and a short drive, like one of the fumbles from last week for the Panthers. Number 11, though, so they're slowly creeping up, and Tampa Bay has the number 12 red zone scoring defense that allows scoring in the red zone at 53%. One of the big things that worked well for the Panthers was Bryce Young, his ability to scramble, to get out of the pocket, to run, and the ability to rely on Chuba Hubbard. If you go back and look at Chuba Hubbard's performances, when he gets 18 or more carries, he's averaging over 90 yards per game. So feeding him consistently, helping him get going is one of the keys to success. And Panthers were much more balanced. They've been very pass heavy over the last few weeks. They come up short. Dave Canales gets back to the run more so than he has in the past weeks. And I think that was part of the difference in the game. The other difference in the game is turnovers, as the Panthers forced 2, a fumble and an interception, did not have a turnover. Playing turnover-free football is going to help you win a lot of games, especially games that are close. I would prefer the Panthers to win a game that does not go into overtime. I kept tweeting out that this has to be the most overtime games in Panthers history. 3 games in a season. It's not. It's the second most. If you're a diehard Carolina Panthers fan, the 2003 team, where the Carolina Panthers went into overtime 5 times, includes the playoffs, that is the most in a single season. But this is right behind it. Second, a lot of overtime games. They are 2-1, really should be 3-0 in overtime, but we'll leave it there. With 2 games to go, we know that Bryce Young's the starter. We know that he's going to be the starter going into next year. And now we just get some answers on the defensive side of the ball. Again, as we need we don't have depth, so we're building up depth, getting guys to play, and we're going to address a lot of things through the draft and free agency, and I cannot wait to get there, and I'm excited about what Dave Canales is building. Winning football games changes a lot. Changes a lot for the culture, for the organization. So, with that said, that's going to do it for this week. Very short. I hope you guys enjoy the time off. If you get time off, spend time with your friends and family if you're able to do that, and appreciate the time that you do get with them. I mean that in all seriousness. I was on ESPN Wilmington today talking to my man Randy Slack about the Panthers, but then he did a really nice segment closing it down. We know it's a difficult time of year for some folks who don't have family either around them or with them, or those that have passed. My mom passed away. It's been over 2 years, and it never gets easier. You lose your family. They're not there. So it can be a tough time. So I tell you to cherish that time that you were able to spend with them. Enjoy it. And as always, this is Carolina Dad for the 2 Growls, 1 Roar podcast. Keep pounding, folks, and happy holidays. Merry Christmas. See y'all.